From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Wakers, pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Venus nightly, never free from the debt. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the scrubble. Turned the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined. Where was next? Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, here we are. This is Under the Groove Podcast, and we are touching bases with the people. Come on in, everyone. I want to welcome everyone into this Get Down tonight. First and foremost, grand rising to those who have made it this far. You have to recognize that something spectacular took place when you got up this morning. You are here in real time, all right? Every day is a good day. All right. We made it through the week. Today is Friday. Unfortunately, there's some who did not get this far, Now, that being said, for those of us who have made it this far, take advantage of this opportunity at life. Take advantage of it. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So count your blessings. Know when you're fortunate, to the point where you're going to take advantage of every minute, hour, day, week, month, year you have on this earth. Because you got a lot of people, you have a lot of circumstances that will snatch that from you, the blink of an eye. Trust that. Trust that. I want to welcome the people, man. I want to welcome the people. All right, here we go. Hey, B60, what it do, man? Well, let me jump back. Let me backtrack a little bit, man. This is where we get down with the get down, all right? And where we focus on the focus. We focus on the focus in order to be able to get down with this get down, all right? And this get down, man, it equates to this thing, man, that we say and we hold true. This is our platform. This is our theme. This is what we stand on, Be one. Be one. It equals black first. Be the one to represent that black first is really what it's all about. That's what it's about, man. Until we get to that point where we all understand it, we got to do this as a unit. It can't be no individualized ideology. This got to be all encompassing concerning black folk. Black has to come first. That's it. All you have to do is look around you to understand that. To be lost to that concept, to that ideology, means then that you will be caught up in what we see going on in the world. Because we don't put B1 or black first, we're caught up, man. We're in the thick of things, And a lot of it we can actually deal with. We don't have to go through all the negativity or the things we know that keeps us down, the things that we know that holds us back. It only is happening. This is only occurring because we aren't unified, because we haven't said as a unit, we are first. We have to come first. Whatever our issues are, whatever the world is going through, we have to make sure that we're first. We're dealing with us first in order to be able to deal with or help, assist, support those who may be going through, you know, things similar or common to what we've been through or what we're going through. But we can't help nobody. We're not helping ourselves. And the only way to do that, man, is to unify and to recognize that, man, we have to come first and deal with our issues. We have to clean up our stuff first before we can help anybody. All right. That being said, again, welcome to Under the Groove Podcast. We are touching bases with the people. Let's get it in. I see you up in here, B60, man. He says, greetings and salutations, you bub and the Royal Group congregation. B1. B1. All right, Donald Davis. Donald Davis is back. What up, fam? Right back to you. What's happening, man? This goes to you as well as B60, man. Everything is everything, man. Ain't we fortunate? No matter how shit looks or how the situation seems to us, hey, man, it's par for the course for the most part. Don't get it twisted. You know, even those who say they got it are doing superb going through it. One thing they can't escape from with all the money they have is that skin, that melanin, you know, and how other people see them because they can't change that. You know what I mean? We got this in common, man. We're Black. So no matter what you think you got, no matter where you think you are or how far you elevated, one thing will always stand true in your own eyes and in the eyes of those who see you, that you're Black, man. That's it. That's it. So, hey, man, this what it is. This is what it is. Right back to you. Like I said, what up to you as well, Donald Davis. Good to see you back, bro. Appreciate your presence. Real spit. All right. Sam's Evan. There you go. B1. As always, this is what it is, y'all. This is what it is. Peace and blessings to you and yours as well, Sam. Queen Nzinga, she up in here, y'all. She says, love, peace, and blessings to all my kings and queens in the Royal Group congregation. It's starting to mean something. You know, not as much as B1 should, though. I think that should be at the forefront of what this get down is. Yeah. Already, bro. One love. There you go. So I want this thing to heat up a little bit before I jump into what, you know, I would like to incorporate in our get down. Like I said the other day, I've been making plans to bring into play the situation where you brothers and sisters, you kings and queens, guys and goddesses, you Black folk, if you feel a need to want to call in and say what you want to say rather than text it out, we think we provided that opportunity, that space to do that. So tonight we're going to give it a go. You know, we're going to make it happen. All right. We are going to make it happen, man. People need to be heard. The people need to be heard. The more the merrier, y'all. But anyway, yeah, Donald Davis, I see you up in this get out, man. I did something today on the other channel. So the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, decided today to finally get up, stand up, speak up, speak out about Donald Trump and his rolling back of certain legislative laws, policies, you know, his revoking decades old work that our people put in to get whatever, you know, we claim profess we've gotten from this country in terms of human rights as well as civil rights. He's been in office a year, so the CBC decided today to say something. You know, I kind of took umbrage to that. You know, I kind of felt offended. I felt offended, to be quite, you know, frank, you know, because he's been here in a year. He's been here a year. You know what? You tried to make this get down what synonymous with Black History Month. I think that's a farce, man. That was some BS. They should have been spoke up. They should have been spoke up. And if they spoke up in his first term, they should have picked up where they left off at when he got back in office. So I didn't too much appreciate it. I hear what they're saying. Again, though, I think when it comes to our people, We have to get past this point where we want to demonize those we know who do the things they do. We know what, we know not only of what they're capable of, but of what they've done. So, and I say this quite frequently, especially when we're speaking on the community level, the ground level. Hey, man, we got to stop pointing fingers at people. And we have to get busy, fold them sleeves up, man, put them pants, legs up, man, and get to work, Stop pointing our fingers and blaming people for our situation, because the situation is not new. Donald Trump hasn't brought anything new to the table as far as this country and its governance goals concerning Black folk. This is nothing new. It's nothing new. Every president that been in this country, that been at the seat or the head of this country has, come on, man, has continued the program, the policies, and those have been, will always be until we stop him keeping us not in our place, but keeping us to where we can't grow and build. There's so much of work that they do to make this happen. But again, I think we lose focus when we focus on what we know they're capable of, when we know what they do. So rather than, hey, scream and shout at them about what they're going to do, hey, man, get it together over here. Get it together with the people. Bring the people together. Bring the people together. Build the block, man. Build the masses. Bring them together. Unify. Then you go and say to these people, this is what we got, and this is how we're going to use this. And the people, they support this message. Until we do that, man, that's not going to change. Them getting up saying what they disagree with Trump, what he and his administration is doing doesn't change anything. They have no power behind them, because see, Trump and them, they recognize the disconnect between them and the community. And for anybody that says there isn't one, you haven't been paying attention, or you're telling a bold-faced lie. We do not associate with politicians, Black, white, or otherwise. Most of us understand that politicians don't give a dang about those they supposed to represent, their contingency, their constituents, They just don't. They tend to, more than take care of the community, they tend to take care of outside communities, other areas in the world, other issues in the world, And this is shown, this is exemplified, man, in what we see in our communities: homelessness, poverty, people hungry, joblessness, bills too high, everything, everything is against us. So yeah, I took umbrage to that. I did. No need of me lying. That being said, I dropped a piece today on another channel on All Things Politics 26. And for the most part, I ran the piece, courtesy of the Defiant Lawyers Network. He ran the piece, and again, these people, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, We don't see eye to eye in a lot of things. And the fact of the matter is, the way the political structure is set up, a lot of them consider themselves not one of us, socially, economically, educationally, and all that matters, all those other things that matter, they consider themselves to a large degree as middle class Blacks. The government does that. The government, they go as far as talk about helping the middle class. Very rarely they actually go about talking about helping the poor do better or not be poor, pulling them up to the middle class. These Black politicians are no different. That's just my take on it, but the record will show I'm not far off the mark. That being said, like I said, I want to throw this new get down in here for us, so that we can start communicating visually as well as we do through the Royal Group Congregations chat line. I want to put that in play very shortly. For the most part, we like for this thing to heat up, get up and running like it normally does. I'm not being impatient. I know how this go. So I'm in this, man, for the duration. Oh, excuse me. Again, that's one issue I was dealing with today, wrestling with, and I was respectful, regardless how I saw the issue. I still was, I wouldn't allow myself to be disrespectful about that issue that they were bringing up. However, it's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of fluff. It's just the same old, the status quo. Most of them don't really mean what they say. They only mean what they say if it affects their pockets. Most of these people are rich, millionaires. And I'm talking about black folk that's supposed to be representing us. They are millionaires. So I think that, for one, to begin with, then they don't see what we see. They're not going through what we're going through, and they refuse to be on that level. And in some instances, it seems as if, or as though, they don't want to really bring us up alongside them. Most of them do not realize that in order for them to really be successful in the halls of power, they need us. They need us like we need them, But again, Donald Trump's not worried about the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus. He's not worried about that, because Donald Trump and others, that whole get down, MAGNA, a whole lot of other white Democrats, whatever, they see the disconnect in the black community. They don't just see it on that level, the professionals and the haves, those who got it and those who don't. But we see it on our level, in our community, on these streets. There's a disconnect. So what I'm saying is, he see overall, there's no unity. There's no unity in the black community. None. We are, I have to say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. We are the only ethnic group that does not work together. We're the only ones. And man, I'm telling you, man, it would be folly for us to not recognize or know that they see this. They're not concerned, man, about rolling back certain legislative accomplishments throughout the decades, or revoking certain policies and laws, turning back affirmative action, getting rid of DEI and all. They're not concerned with that, because they know there's no unity. There's no cohesiveness in our community. They're sitting there laughing at them like, yeah, who's going to support y'all, man? Y'all barely take care of your own people. That's my take on it, Again, if someone thinks differently or feels different, hey, man, you know what we do with right here, man. We keep everything above board. We can agree to disagree, but we always focus on the focus, all right? And that way we can get down with this get down, man, without watering anything down. All right. So that being said, I'm gonna get back to these comments, man. I see they're heating up. Hey, Poke, I see you, bro. Poke Mitchell, podcast TV, say happy Black love. Happy Black love, which should be every day. Me and my better half send our love and salute right back to you, bro. Don't let them outdo us. We have to make sure that we are not outdone. See, they can only get away with doing stuff to us if we're not together, if we're not unified. But again, first and foremost, I think the thing that's missing that creates that adhesiveness for us as a unit, as a people, is love. They say we don't love each other. They say it. Oh, that's why the blacks saying shit. They don't even love each other. They say this now, out in the open. We want to make sure don't nobody outdo us. Let's make sure that we're not doing this to ourselves, that we're not outdoing each other, or that we're not hurting one another. If we got love in this mix, that adhesiveness, we loving each other because we know it's necessary, and because we just love who we are, we're going to get it done. But if that's missing from the equation, we're not going to get nothing done. Nothing will be accomplished. And as we sit down scratching our heads, they'll be sitting over there laughing and grinning like they just don't get it. A lot of them, they'll say it too. They don't love each other, but they love one another. They love one another good enough to get shit done and stick together to make sure it's done, to outdo everybody else or attempt to, So that's where we fail at. We fail at loving and appreciating us as a unit, as a people. Once we get that, ain't gonna be no stopping us, man. Ain't gonna be no stopping us, because now you're talking about black power that's codified, this one mass, unstoppable. That being said, I'm gonna move on, man. Yeah, appreciate that comment though, Poke, man. Hopefully you and the wife, everything is everything. This is a good Friday, man. A time together, man. Look, made it through the week, man. There you are. Can't be in no better place, man. That go for everybody. Cannot be in a better place than with the ones you love. Queen Nzinga says, I keep saying it. We have to stick together. We all we got. Truth to power. Pope goes on to say, what it do, bub? I'm taking my wife out. Shout out to UGG and RGC. Hey, man, enjoy your night, man. Enjoy your night with your other half, man. That's the thing, man. That is the thing. And I'm going to drop this thing, you guys. Pope, hey, man, do your thing, man. And salute to you and yours. We send our love and blessings to you guys, man. Enjoy your night, bro. Yeah, this is just what it is, man. This is how we're going to get down with this thing, y'all. This is how we're going to get down with this thing. But that being said, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, hold on 1 second, everybody. Let me stop this one and drop that one. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that being said, man, like I said, we're going to do what we continue to do. And that's to show love and unity with our people, first with ourselves, so that we can extend this to those, we need to love and respect and treat like we would treat ourselves, So enjoy your night, bro. Rakufu, what it do? He say, hey, family, have a beautiful weekend. There you go. And I wouldn't be upset or surprised that everybody have plans. And I think that this is something, when COVID happened, I surmise that a lot of us stopped doing the things we used to enjoy doing with those we love. COVID has shut that down. And my summation is that I don't think that we as a people got back up and is back out there enjoying life, like we used to, doing the things we love or enjoy doing with those we loved, But if that's the case, if we're coming back into that, man, more power to us, man. We need to do that. Friday being a night for us, traditionally, Friday and Saturday, they got a lot of songs about Friday coming. We made it through the weekend. We live for the weekend. I think that's the OJs. Living for the weekend. What I'm saying? Cold cut. I love it. But yet, and get ours on, get our party on, we're going to party down. We're going to hang with those we love, what I'm saying, to make life worth living and worth loving, So enjoy, man, if that's the case with anybody in the RGC or otherwise, Yeah. I see you, Pope. Do the thizzle, man. Do the thizzle. Rakufu. He said, what aspirations should we Africans aspire to reach in this powerful omniverse? Should we plan on space travel? My reply to that is this, man. Only after we've mastered the world in our time, only after we've gotten our shit together to where, to the point where the world sees us and recognizes, respects us and everything we're about, everything we've been about, and once we accomplish that, yeah, man, you just, let's, yeah, let's do one of them, Let's go, go beyond it where any man has gone before. That's us. I think that's, that's part of our purpose. Might be 100 years from now, might be 150. You know what I mean? But I think that's something, man, when it's done, and when it's done, we should be the ones to do it first. That's our universe. We're more part of the cosmos than anything or anybody. Yeah, it would only be right for us to traverse the universe, the galaxies and shit. Come on, man. That's what I think, man. So yeah, we should want to plan on space travel. You know what I mean? We should want to go and see if, we came from somewhere else, or if someone else is out there. Yeah. We should want to do that. Plan for that, man. Aspire to all that. I agree with that, man. All right, Raymond Score, I see you. I see you. He said, peace and blessings, bud. My best wishes to you and your family. Much love and respect to the kings and queens in the Royal Group congregation. Right back to you, Roscoe. All love and respect, bro. Hopefully you and yours are well as well. Good to see you in here with us tonight. It's Friday. And I was just saying, man, I don't know. Depending on how this thing goes, depending on how the RGC sees it, we might want to alternate Friday for Sunday. I don't know. That's something for sure we can debate or talk about, come to a consensus on, let our, hey, man, we didn't survive the week, man. Some of us want to let off some steam, want to vent, take the wife out to dinner, to a movie, man, go get a room, man, and just do some, grown-ups do, So I think that's worthy of debate. You know what I'm saying? Do we want to alternate Friday for Sunday? It'll still be, 5 days, but, it won't be in succession, and something to be talked about, man. We can sure discuss that, man. We sure can discuss that. All right, well, Kofu, you said, can we benefit from our natural resources from off-planet material should we dream of deep space travel for our future generations? Excuse me. Can we benefit from natural resources from off-planet material? I think so. I think there's so much more to be discovered, man. And actually, in all actuality, going back to your first question, how you posed it, I think we've done everything here, except for coming together. I mean, seriously, coming together. And once we do that, let's go. We might have some that don't want to take that trip. But what we will leave behind is structure, legacy, man. We'll leave our people in a situation where they have nothing to worry about. They're control of their destiny still, like those of us who might want to do space travel will be in control of our destiny, man. We'll say, this is what I want to do. This is what we want to do. Boom, let's go. Would we benefit as a result? I think so. I think so. And again, for me, when, if you ask me, when you get right down to it, I think we should be separate. We should do our own thing. That's just what I think, So yeah, for future generations, we set up something else, man, and we'd be able to tell the stories of old, stories of antiquity about what it was on planet Earth, how that was as opposed to how this is now for the future generations, how they'd be able to appreciate more just living free, living free from all the shit that ails us, So yeah, that would be good, man. Straight up. All right, James, I see you, bro. Say, yo, bud, much love because sending mine from the hub, man. Much love to the hub, man. And our brother James, man, glad to see you in here tonight, man. That's the business. That's the business. That is the business. B1, y'all. Black first. Love, man. We bring that about. Black being first. Love for self, love for the people, man. See you up in here. Rakufu say no physical barriers for our people. Facts, bub. Real shit. All we have to do, listen, man, I think that we have allowed ourselves. It ain't really what people have been doing to us, man, because again, they've been doing this shit to us, man, for over 500 years. It's not like we are not aware or we have not experienced the worst of them. You know what I mean? We've been there and done that. And we have found ways, and we say this all the time. Our people say it all the time, man, and still we rise. That's an indication to me. It's time for us to get it together, man. Going about our business. Going about our way, man. You know, I think the stars await us, you know, calling us home. You know, that's what I think. And then again, man, there's nothing we can't do. We've proven that. We got one last thing to prove, man. And that's us unifying. One love, one people. That's, I think, on this earth is our last accomplishment, our last goal. Once we reach that goal, once we attain that reality, man, that thing, man, will set us up for our departure. We'll be like with smiles on our face. Okay, we bid you all adieu. You know, we gone. Ain't fantasy, man. Ain't nothing fantasy about that, man. Real shit, man. Raymond Scholes said there's even melanin in space. That's where we come from. You know? Ain't nothing wrong with going home. Ain't nothing wrong with meeting up from what you come from. And I think, man, when we look at shit, when we dive deep, these people are trying to keep us from something we don't know. And AI ain't going to tell us. They're keeping us from something. They ain't got nothing to do with planet Earth. That's what I think, man. Shit. That's why we get all this stuff. All this stuff coming at us, man. They bombarding us with all these distractions, these lies, these narratives. You know what I'm saying? These covering up of our history, man, of, you know what I'm saying, what came before us and them. We're not exposed to, man, there's a fear that not only will we outdo them, but we'll leave them. They want us here. They don't want us to go, man, you know? But while we're here, they want to, you know, like we ain't shit. Come on, man. It's something, man, they hiding from us. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. There's melanin in space, man. Shh, tell the truth, bro. James says, I know all should be well with you, the RGC, all of our brothers and sisters in the hood, the block, the projects, the ones who need help the most. For real, dog. We need to get it together out here. Some real shit, you know? Real shit. You're going to say happy Friday to the real ones, black fist up to the sky. I'm telling you, Black Power, y'all. We got to get this stuff together. We got to get it together. Right now, you know, not tomorrow. Queen Nzinga say the destination is sovereignty. We want to be sovereign, man, in everything we do. You know? But the only way, man, to have that, man, we have to be together, man. In order to claim that, you know, one or two, the whole group, the whole collective have to have that. You know? Because that's what enables us to be all we can be. Something is in effect to keep us from attaining, from reaching, having our sovereignty, man. Something. I don't know what it is yet. But with brothers and sisters like this, we can figure this shit out and get it together, man, so we can go about our business, man. You know? I'm telling y'all, we got to get away from these people, man. James said, man, if we go back to segregation, bub, how would we go? You got many mixed neighborhoods out here with different demographics, because I would love to walk through my hood and see only brothers and sisters. See, again, man, what I understand, especially when it came to our people 100 years ago, 150 years ago, they decided, man, to risk it all, you know? They decided to risk it all, man, sacrifice it all to start something, to incorporate something that served us, to create our sovereignty. I don't care if it was under the banner of segregation, Jim Crow, You know what I mean? All that stuff that they threw at us or they thought would keep us down. We utilized that shit and we separated ourselves. We had many towns and cities, many. They only throw a few at us. But man, don't y'all know there were scores of them from California to New York, man. All right. From shit, Texas up to Wyoming, Montana, whatever the furthest state up north is, Michigan and Detroit, we were all in. You know, I think first though, the question has to be, or the consensus has to be, do we want to do this? Do we recognize that this is the best thing for us? You know, that's how we start this process. That's how we start thinking and mapping it out. Do we want this as a collective? And you got to know, some people ain't gonna want to go. They love it. They love it. Ain't no starting over for them. Like, nah, because this what I got now ain't guaranteed the next time. You know, I worked too hard. I sold too many out. I done too much devious shit, man, to just get this shit up now. So some ain't going. More power to them. You know, but this is something we could do. This is something we could do, but we have to be in the right state of mind to say, okay, is this the best thing for us? Or is integration the best thing for us? And I tell y'all, man, we already know the answer to that. We know the answer to that, you know? Why will we continue to wallow in integration? Why? Separate ourselves, man. I was looking at these black folk today to see the Congressional Black Caucus and how they were talking about the Republicans. Hey, man, Democrats are just worse. But the thing in my mind was, why haven't any of y'all said, you know what, man, damn all this. We're going to start our own get down. Why ain't none of y'all had the heart to say, we want to start our own political group? And it's going to serve us first. And I had all the answers in my head as to why they would oppose that. I get it, you know. First thing first, be like, oh, where we gonna go? You know, where's the funding gonna come from? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? You know, and they're not thinking outside the box. They weren't thinking outside the box. They don't think outside the box. They're not allowed to think outside the box, you know? But I don't think that wanting to separate ourselves from them would be this fight that we couldn't win, this thing that we could not do. Like I say, we've done everything, man. How the hell any of us would think that would be something we can pull off? We could pull it off if we wanted to. So that's where I was with that, man. Anyway, James, your comment is, if we go back to segregation, Bub, how would we go? How many mixed neighborhoods out here with different demographics? Because I would love to walk through my neighborhood, through my hood, and see only brothers and sisters. And you know, there are ways, man. You know, and again, I think in order to get to that point where we can start discussing ideas, you know, to answering that question, you know, we have to get to the point where we can discuss ideas to get to that question, or, you know, see if that can even be done. It can be done, man. It make me think again of just everything that came before us. It can be done, man. You know. Rakufu say, right, Bub, this is a vast universe, omniverse. And when our ancestors mapped out the stars and was able to tell by the stars when to plant and when to harvest, you know, you know, that's us, man. They just knew it. They were mapping the stars for telescopes even existed. Explain that. Some say, oh no, it's aliens. It was aliens. Anything to make sure we don't get the credit. Anything to guarantee or, you know, make sure again that we aren't recognized or commemorated for our abilities, our scientific genius. They will come up with anything, you know. Queen Nzinga said, You own your land, control your resources, decide your laws, protect your people, own your data, control your future. Uh-oh, she's heating up. She's heating up. James said, man, the only way we can own land is to overthrow the white devil capitalist government. Start over on a new black page in the Black House, not no White House, Black House. We must rule in order to own. And I think there's some validity to that. But again, man, so when we want to, there are certain things already in place that will try to hinder or prevent that from happening. Let's be 100, man. We're going to keep everything above board. We know this. Social services be coming through. All the kids ain't in school. Who's teaching them? Are they unaccredited? You know what I'm saying? They go by that, they go that way. Then you got, the government, federal government will try their damnedest to make sure we don't have flowing water, running water. You know what I mean? We can't be connected to an electrical grid and shit like that. There's a lot that come into play. But I say, and I say this, I say it because I'm quite sure of it, that wouldn't hinder us, man. We find a way. We find a way. And if a person wants to break away from this republic, so to speak, not want to be a citizen anymore, that's his human right. Okay, what would that entail? Because for sure, yeah, the federal government would try to fight that. No, you're our property. You belong to us. We're not gonna, you go through these process, courts and all this stuff. But man, at the end of the thing, man, is the fact that we will be free. It's a fight. It's a fight. We've been in this fight for a very, very long time. So that shouldn't deter us. We shouldn't be worried about fighting. We've been fighting our whole existence here. So shit, let's do what it do. James said, man, just peep game, homie. Look at all the folks who own big land, who they sharing it with. Not us, man. Fuck out of here. Yeah. Yeah. There's ways of doing that shit, man. Now say for instance, we go buy a gang of land and we have parcels, man, connected or separate, different, like people did, like our people did 100 years ago, 150 years ago, buy these parcels, man, set it up, do the damn thing, man. Our worry then would be, will the government turn around and say, eminent domain, we need to run through this town. We got to demolish this town because we're finna run a road through here, Or we found an endangered species, behind that rock over there. So we can't have you, yeah, those are those type of fights you may have. But hey, man, again, what fight we ain't had with them that we don't know about, or that they, could try to throw their fists up at us with. We had all the fights, man. And we know how to win most of them. The problem ain't that. The problem is the people coming together, man. That's the problem. That's the problem. The people supporting one another, each other, the collective. So, Rakufu said, man, the biggest nation in creation is the imagination. Imagination. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. Hey, see, and again, so a lot of what we see going on, a lot of what's been thrown at us is to stop this. It's to stagnate this, man. It's to get in there and disrupt all the neurons and all the processes that take place in there that make us who we are, that keep us going when others say, how the hell are they still going? The imagination, man. We got to get hold of ourselves. That's it. That's it, man. Man, appreciate that comment right there, Rakufu. That's some solid shit. Roscoe said, man, imagine segregation today. We be in position to control our destiny economically, socially, and politically. The other people don't really want to desegregate. You know why? They need us. And they need us close for control. They need us, period. Man, them people would unravel. The system would collapse without us. It would. It just would, man. You know, it would. This is why they ended segregation. They realized that, hey, man, we'll be done if we allow this to continue. They'll be springing up everywhere, and they'll have their own economy. They'll have people, super intelligent people we won't be able to mess with, man. We won't be able to tell them nothing if we allow segregation to continue. They chaperoned integration right on in. They chaperoned it. They brought it in, man. And it's been our downfall ever since. It's been our downfall ever since. The only accomplishments, man, that our people have been making in the last 100 years have been individual accomplishments. You know, speak truth to power, man. Our inventors, our creators, our innovators, our thinkers, they do this on an individual scale, on an individual get out. You know, that's the reality. But as a unit, we haven't done nothing in a long time together. And this is how they want it. You know, free our minds, man. Free your mind, and your ass will follow. Hey, Kimberly Mitchell, how you doing, sister? She say, Hoover, hey, real one, stay diligent. Spiritual war. They don't want us to wake up. Pray for vengeance on our oppressors. Love yourself. Period, point blank. Back to the key. And this is what, you know, not just me. This is not my opinion alone, mine and mine alone. The people know we are missing love in the equation. Love for self, first and foremost. But love, then again, as a unit, man, as a whole, we don't have it. So again, man, a lot of people aren't worried because they don't see love amongst us. They'll start worrying when they see love amongst us, love for self and then love for each other. That's when they'll start worrying. And they'll put a carrot out there. I'm telling you real quick, y'all. They'll put a carrot out there, man, try to get us back in line. They'll throw something out there, man, to try to divide us again. But they know, like a lot of us know, a lot of us, we aren't loving ourselves. Therefore, we aren't loving each other, man. That's what's missing. Love for self and love for your people. That's what's missing. James say, but that's how some of our people are sick, Big Bub. They walk or drive by a struggling brother or sister and not give one fuck. As long as they good, they not worried about nothing and nobody else. Again, man, this is learned behavior though, right? And I'm not excusing it. But it's learned behavior. We treat each other the way we've been treated, man, for hundreds of years, man. That's the problem. People who got hold of us had no love for us. And as a result, we didn't know how to love ourselves. You know, we hated them, but we hated ourselves because we didn't know how to get out of that fix. A lot of us didn't understand. Some did, some didn't. That it was love of self first that's going to show us the way, that's going to get us out of these fixes. That's what we see in the streets today, man. It's what we see. If a brother or sister ride by a brother or sister in need, in dire need, life could be in, and they keep going, the person don't love himself or herself to begin with. So there's no way that that individual could love this person that they don't know, but looks just like them. It's no love, man. That's it. And we have to fix that first. We have to fix that in our communities, in our people, in ourselves, before we want to talk about fixing something these people been doing for a long time. Fix ourselves, man. We fix each other, man. And then we ain't got to fix they shit. Ours is fixed. Ours is fixed. That's on them now. Because we're not going to let it affect us anymore. We're not in that box anymore, man. We didn't went beyond that shit. You know, we didn't come to realize there are no parameters. There are no boundaries, man. That wouldn't even affect us. Our people wouldn't be in front of a news conference talking about, oh, Donald Trump down there. Hey, man, he ain't the first one, won't be the last. But that shit will continue as long as we continue to not love ourselves, man. As long as we continue to function in this parameter that they got us in this box. And I'm telling you, the only thing in that box, man, is self-loathing, self-hate, not love for yourself or others. You know? And again, a lot of us are actually okay. We tend to just act like it's, you know, it's not cool. But a lot of us okay. You know? You know, a lot of us are going through what we're going through because, again, man, you know, man, traumatized, man, indoctrinated, man, Willie Lynch, go on and on to the break of dawn in terms of what ails us, what made us sick. You know, a lot of us, just, you know, man, we've given up to some degree. You know, straight up, man. Rakufu said, man, Black August 2007, the George Jackson movie, not documentary. Have you seen it yet? Nope, but I'm going to watch it now. I would watch that. I would watch that. You know, one of our greats, great warrior and great mind, intellectual. I would watch that. So that's on the list. James said, man, I don't know how TF my people came to such a dog eat dog mentality, blinded by senseless hatred, not realizing you further sending your own people into extinction by your own goddamn hands. Again, though, see, and a lot of us, yeah, we are frustrated. We're tired of it, man. You know, and but the reality is, man, a lot of us ended up this way because, again, man, there are certain things just done, man, not just over decades, but over centuries to us, you know, just over centuries, man. And we learn behaviors, man, that are not normal or natural in us. They really aren't. It's really not in our nature to be this way, man. We've been rewired, man. Our brains have been rewired. Our souls are asleep. They done lullabied our souls to sleep and they done shut our brains down, man. You know? But again, man, at what point do we stop saying them? When do we start dealing with our shit, man? Our issues, for real, you know? Because like I said, that's going to continue to happen until such a time we say enough's enough. And they're going to know it before us because they're going to see the signs, you know? But we're going to go about it because it's a natural process. Once we get to that point where we understand or we know in our soul and our minds that this is what it's supposed to be, we're not going to really pay attention to it. We're just going to go about it naturally, you know? It's organic shit we do. But they'll be able to see it to some degree. They'll get their warning, you know? Hey, man, shit, we are at the helm of this, man. That's what we have to get back into the knowledge of. We have to know that we run us. We are the captains of our ships, man. We have to navigate, man, ourselves through this ocean, these seas, you know? Because if we don't, and as long as we don't, they will. They will. Poke Mitchell says, I thought you was, man, what the date night, bro? Poke said, Bub, let me say this. I really respect the way you govern UTG. I love to hear from the RGC, even if I disagree, but you keep B1 first and put Black love on another level, which makes me love everybody in the RGC. And that thing, I think, man, it's for us to even transcend it further, let it spread out even further than just us who come in here every day, you know, to sit down and to discuss those things that affect us, to, you know, have dialogue in terms of what we would love to, what we imagine for us in the coming years. You know what I mean? We got to spread this out, man, beyond the RGC. You know, we get, you know, You know, man, it got to be from inside, from the inside out. Everything we do, man, you know. But again, man, you know, this is our work, bro. You know, this is our work, man. We have to govern, man, what happens to us, man, because if we don't, they will. This is what we see occurring. We're being governed by other people who do not have our best interests at heart, never have. You know, this is our work, bro. So each and every one of us should respect our own ability to govern not just ourselves, but help to govern those who need governed, who need to be awakened in terms of what that is, what it entails, and how it will affect each and every one of us, them and us too. That's our work, man. You know, and I'm telling you, that's a lot of work. So you ain't got the stomach for it. You're not strong enough for it. Then stay in the process because your stomach will get used to it. You know, you'll be able to digest it. You'll be able to hold it in. And if you think you're weak, stay in it, man. You'll gather the strength. You'll gain the strength, man, to push this shit the way it's supposed to be pushed so that we can govern ourselves, man. And I don't mean on no shit we've been exposed to since we've been here. Not no tyrannical shit, not no dictatorship, not no you do what I say, no bully shit. But each and every one of us, man, understanding, man, that we're a unit, man. And the way that the unit go, we go. You know? That's what I think, shit. Raymond Scott said, man, I mentioned this before. P. Diddy was speaking of starting a black political party. He impressed me with his insight of our plight as blacks. Soon after, he was brought up on them charges. We talked about this. He's just one example. He's just one example. I can name them. Him, Prince, Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, shit, a couple more, shit, and it's on a lower level, but look how they tried to do Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? He didn't want to be the Negro. He didn't see that what they wanted was, you know, the shit, you know. But my point is, when you're in a situation and you tend to want to think for yourself, or you want to, you know, bring some type of empowerment, not just to yourself, but to your people, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Because then what that means is you're trying to break away from us. You know, and we didn't design it for that. We didn't design it for y'all to have y'all own shit up in our shit, you know. Yeah. All of a sudden, everything that P. Diddy was doing behind closed doors, it came out. It came out. I recall when he wanted to start a political party for blacks. I remember that. Look what happened. Yeah. And actually, he got off, man, rather lightly. You know, he didn't lose his mama. He didn't lose his son. Bill Cosby wanted to buy Viacom. And it's alleged that because of that, he wouldn't fall back. Something happened to one of his. You know, Ye got up there and said some stuff about some people in the system who love us, who don't. Lost his mother in a botched, typical, you know, almost everyday procedure. Man, maybe this is why a lot of them won't step up. They understand the consequences. They're not ready to die. They're not ready to lose everything. You know, they don't want to go to federal prison 2 years, 3 years, 5 years for the benefit of the people. They're not willing to make that sacrifice. You know, just think about that, man. We should always think about this type of stuff and stop allowing people to put shit in our heads. You know, it's always another side to the story, man. And that's not me condoning nothing, you know, in terms of, you know, some of the salacious, you know, accusations that come out about these cats, man. But hey, man, Who bringing this stuff out? You know, why is it coming out? Been doing it, but why now? You know, Prince said, hey, man, we're slaves to the system. They own us. But hey, I refuse to be owned. Prince wasn't a drug addict. Mike Mike had a mission, and a lot of us don't really understand it. Real quiet about his business. You know, camera shy type cat, unless he performing. But get people out of his business. But Mike was onto something. You know, he pissed him off when he first bought the Beatles Masters. How dare you? That pissed some people off, and then wouldn't sell them back. That's just one aspect of what we know he was doing they didn't like. You know, you could say Mike had a mind of his own. Fought against Sony and all of them. Come on, man. Come on. So a lot of a lot of our people aren't ready, aren't willing, or very reluctant to say anything that would help the masses. Nah. And this is why I say, man, we on our level have to get it together, man. We got to show them who are in fear that, hey, man, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth being in fear. You know what I mean? You know? We want to save our people, man. Yeah, we're going to take some losses. Trust and know that, man. Anybody thinking, man, that the first sign of us wanting to separate is going to be smooth, you're mistaken. And that's the thing I think a lot of people are not willing to really realize or face. They don't want to accept that. We got, man, it's a whole lot, y'all. It's a whole lot. You know, Rakufu says, I believe in Los Angeles. We blacks should control the economic structure in the black dominated parts of the city. Yeah, all that. And that's not far-fetched. It's the unifying part, though, that's the most difficult. You know, it's us loving ourselves and each other so that we can get to the part where we can come together and unify to make shit happen. Because this is what our people did. And you got to know, our people back in the days when they was doing this, building their own get out, there had to be disagreement and dislike for others. But I'm telling you, got to know they had, it only makes sense to come to the conclusion that they put their differences to the side so that they can get some shit done that was going to benefit the people. You know, same opportunities exist for us here, man. Just in a different time. You know, and in fact, it's not as financially difficult to do it today as it was back then. You know, I think nowadays, though, because of integration, we might have a few more hurdles to jump over. But hey, man, might be par for the course. We might have to play them 18 holes, man, to get to what we need to be, or to get to where we need to be. So Rakufu said, Bub, when I was locked in the hole, I would read books all the time. So some of my best studies was in the hole alone. Ain't that something? And again, y'all, I don't speak much about prison, man, because, you know, yeah. You learn to deal with yourself. You come to know who you are when you're in solitude. When you're in solitary confinement, you actually you come to terms where at least I did. With who you are. You come to learn you. You start to learn stuff, not just of you, but there's a lot of you start reading and shit, you start comprehending. Now you find that you're becoming educated. Yeah, some of the best times, man. Away from all that, you know, those cacophony of noises, you know, just all this that, you know, you can't think straight. But in the whole, it's different. You're able to think, you know. That might be the thing out here. Seclude ourselves, man, have a period of seclusion where we go into seclusion, and we do it though to improve ourselves, to learn who we are, educate ourselves. And when we come out of seclusion, man, we coming out, man, with a knowledge, not just who we are, but of things. You know, we're educated. We want to share that education, you know. That might be a thing. Might be a thing to do. I don't know. Yeah, I get you though. Raymond Skull said, if blacks understood our natural genealogical power, a newfound consciousness would emerge. They've created vaccines and cancer research from the blood of a black woman, Henrietta Lacks. We watched that movie. My wife put that movie. I watched that movie, mad as hell, but it told me something about us. Ain't nobody like us, man. And look, man, I think, again, I was saying this the other night about how they genetically modify shit, and they know how to do certain shit because they studied long enough. They learn from our people, man, how to do shit, not to help, but to harm. This woman, she was the key to cancer. And they then took every bit and part of her and kept her remains and all that, man, from her family. John Hopkins. I watched the movie, man, and it pissed me the hell off. But my point is that, yeah, here she was, man. You know, the cure. The cure. Her genetics held the cure. Imagine this, though, man. How many of us, genetically speaking, is the cure? You know? It's a whole lot of powerful shit going on, y'all. We're not focusing, though. We're not focusing on the focus. And I'm telling y'all, part of the reason, part of the plight or the plight of our problems is that we are not willing to get hold of ourselves, man, and start to focus on what really matters. Not just in our lives, man, but in the lives of those who look just like us, those we profess to love. You know, there are so many Henrietta Lacks. You know what I mean? David Blackmans and all these super intelligent people, or just genetically superior people. No telling how many of our own we've killed. We've killed in these streets. How many intellectual giants and geniuses, you know? How many gene pools, genetic superior DNA we snuffed out. For what? For what? True power, man. We are that. James said truth, bud. Hey, man, I want to get this thing a try, man. I'm you know, I want to get this thing a try, you guys, before it's all said and done, because I see time is flying. Hey, man, first off, just know something, y'all. And in case that brother is in here, Skull, I forget his whole name. I mean, our Get Down, man, is for the people, homie. And if you in here, then you got to understand, or you have to appreciate that you've been embraced as one of us, man. So it always has to be about respect, man. You know, it's not about me being over nobody else, you being over anybody else, or what you have to say, what I have to say has to be said, and it's paramount. No, man. This is a congregation, bro. All right? That don't just go for you, that go for all of us. Man, people may not agree with everything or anything I say. However, if that is the case, they know what we speak with first respect. Love, then respect. Love me enough to respect me, but at the same time, lace me. check me, put me in my place. This is what we got to accept from each other, man. You know, no one is being overlooked. That's the problem in the community. We overlooking each other. We don't want to do that here, bro. That go for brothers and sisters. All right. I just need to say that. I want to try this thing, man. I don't want to be apprehensive. Whatever, old Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will, but then I want to do this, man. I want to do this. So there's a number in there, man. Let's see how this thing works. All right. Somebody want to come in. Let's see if we can get y'all in here. Anyone, and let's try this thing out, because I think this should be incorporated in our get down, and we don't have to do it every day. We can do it, whenever we decide that we want to talk about something, just worth talking about, and somebody say, man, pull up the situation, man. I want to call in, I think that's what this should be for. We should provide that for this. If there are any ideas in terms of how we're going to use this, how we like to use this, let it be known. Y'all know how we get down, but man, I'm just saying, man, our whole thing, man, got to be done, man, as a unit. We're not gonna always think the same. We're not gonna always agree, but we have to have an agenda that would mail, man, even all parts of this get down, so that we understand or can get to the point where we know what will work for us, what pieces to put together, what ends to sew tight. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think, man. So there that go, man. Where was I? Yeah, man, we so fucking, y'all didn't got ahead of me that quick. Dang. I don't know if I sent that thing out. Wait a minute, let me see something, because I probably did something wrong on there. So the link is right there. I ain't got to do that to somebody. Somebody come in. I'm going to leave that alone. I'll mess something up quick, y'all. I just was practicing this with brother-in-law, but I was happy to go through it, Okay, where we at? Boom. All right. James said, we can't wait around for non-existent survivors to jump out the sky and start sending down ladders. Nah, we are the ones who are our own saviors. And I don't mean survivors. I take that back. I see that saviors. I don't know why I said survivors. We can't wait around for non-existent survivors to jump out the sky and start sending down ladders. Nah, we are the ones who are our own survivors. Real spit. It's on us. I'm tired of people waiting on Jesus. It's on us. Raymond Skull, man. Raymond says, man, what's important is this. To begin unity, we have to create an order of sequence, an order of sequence, such as education, communication, understanding, and a collective will of the people, etc. We have to take these steps, or we have to take steps. Did you go on to say more? We have to take steps. That's where it ended at. Okay. But yeah, I think that's it. That's the plan. That would be the blueprint, the template of how we go about, getting this thing right. So I think, yeah, that's the start right there. It has to begin with unity. But in order for unity to become this thing that we all are not buying into, but want to be a part of, we have to love. I mean, we have to have love in this equation for us, for ourselves and our people, man, first and foremost. Polk says, man, on a date with my wife, I got y'all in my ear. #1 live. Talk to y'all later. All love, Polk, man. Enjoy your night, man. You and the missus, bro. Love you, man. James said, I believe laziness is a key factor. People have settled for whatever position they're in, be it the game they represent, the prison walls. They swear they're going to make it real behind. Okay. And the streets. Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, we've settled. That's another thing. We tend to settle sometimes. Put your compassion and passion in your people. All right, we got to live for something. Live for something positive. Find a purpose that suits you and those just like you, the people. Talking to each other is the first and simplest step we can take to get back in line with each other. Get in line with each other and on the same page. All right, Antonio, I see you up in here, man. Peace and blessings, bro. And by the way, people, for those who don't know, there's a lot in this chat right now. I ain't even caught up yet. I'm way behind. I'm trying to make it a point to, boom and go. This is Under the Groove Podcast. For those who don't know, just might be listening. We are touching bases with the people. This is what we do. We keep everything above board. All right. We here tend to focus on the focus. So this discussion, as you can see, is about us. How do we get to the point where our unity is not an issue anymore? To the point where it's not a question as to whether I love myself enough to love another brother or sister. You know what I mean? This is the conversation. So come on in if you see fit. If not, continue to just get a bar of what we're talking about up in here. But by any means, if you want to do us a solid, like, share, comment, subscribe if you see fit. But this is Under the Groove Podcast, and you are touching bases with the people. Good to have you. Glad to have you. More than welcome to be here. Okay, let me catch this one because, yeah. All right, so that's what that was. James said, man, I truly believe in the power of conversation. Listening to the streets is what matters. Keeping your ears wide open to the people's silent screams. We must not overlook a single square inch of black. We have, you going to say, James, we all have a lot in common. We also have our differences, but there's one fact about us that will forever remain until we change it. We still don't have our identity, our freedom, justice, or unity. And I got you one fact. Yeah. Raymond says, to further expound on your point, it's true our wealth and famous people can't do anything for us. Furthermore, they using those people money. It's really not their money as it appears. And that's something I think we talked about a few weeks ago. The fact that they know it better than we know it, that it's not their money. And they know that they could come, send the IRS right at them real quick, lickety split, and take every dime, put them in the po house. And that ain't where they want to be, So a lot of them toe the queue in fear of that, as well as any other, thing that could occur. You know what I mean? So yeah, there that is, man. Raymond go on to say, man, Michael Jackson's songs have messages in them. If anyone listens to his song, Just Another Part of Me, he's really speaking on it. Yeah. Also, look, I think one of his deepest messages, and that might be one, I'm gonna have to go listen to that because I can't call it off the top of my head, Raymond. But Man in the Mirror, hands down, man, one of these songs, man, if you just taking what he's saying. And I think that applies to us today. That song was actually probably before its time, I don't know. All right, Devin Butcher, what it do, loved one? He said, peace, brother Bub. All right, peace right back to you, bro. Good to see you up in here, man. I'm trying to run through these get outs, but look, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong because the numbers in there, I ain't got to worry about that, man. Shit, y'all gonna come. Copy and my link. I ain't got to do that yet. That's me. Let me see something. Okay. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, let me get back in these comments, man. I see you though, Devon Butchie, man. Good to see you here, bro. Hopefully your day, man, will see your satisfaction. All right. If not, man, hopefully you granted, man, a grand rising tomorrow, you can improve on whatever it was you thought you fell short of, or you could have did better. All right. Look at it like that. So let me try to catch up, man. Let me try to catch up. All right. I see you, Rakufu. James said, man, it's hard, brother Bud, with so many out there who are helpless and can't even support themselves. for health or for financial stability. It's a harsh reality. The struggling are just trying to survive. I don't disagree. And we all know that to be the case. But again, man, what's new in that? That's not something, and I'm not condoning it. I'm not, just brushing off, being dismissive about it. But we know poverty, man. We know homelessness. We know mental health issues. You know what I mean? We know joblessness. We know how bills are just too damn high. They don't pay enough on the job you have. You know what I'm saying? We know all these things, man. But here's a fact. Here's the fact that remains. In spite of all that, we rise. We continue to push forward. It's what our DNA compels us to do, I think. We're compelled to. It ain't really no stopping us. It ain't really no quit in us. Now, that doesn't mean that certain things can't slow us down. We're being slowed down. That's all. We're being slowed down. We have to get to the point where we understand what's slowing us down first. And then how do we combat that so we can get our momentum back? The movement needs momentum. The people need momentum. Rakufu said, man, I'm going to commit to myself to read a physical book at least once every 2 months from now on. And I was sitting up, man, I was in the studio, was it yesterday? And I'm looking at all my books, man. I read them all before, but I'm thinking to myself, we were talking about revolutionary suicide the other day. The homie had mentioned it. And I got the book. I read it before. I said, man, I need to pick the book up again and just read it, So, subconsciously, consciously, I made the decision to start doing this shit again, man. Same thing. I need to start reading more. I tend to read, but what I find myself doing more of nowadays is reading online, and I think, I don't know if that's actually a good thing, So yeah, that right there is a good suggestion right there. Big Say Low. Big Say Low. Welcome to this Get Out, man. You already know this is Under Groove Podcast, bro. Tonight, what we do from Monday to Friday, we got this thing we call touching bases with the people. That's what we do. We come in here for conversation, man, and dialogue, man, because we know it brings us closer. We're able to get an understanding, man, an idea of what we have in common. You know what I mean? We don't always agree, but we agree to disagree. We keep shit respectful, bro. You're here, man, front and center. Appreciate you being here. And you're welcome, homie. You're more than welcome to be here, all right? But Big Salo said, man, what's the big word? What's the word, big homie? This walk down from Salo. Just tapping in with you, homie. Appreciate that, loved one. Appreciate that. Brothers from all over need to come on up in here, man. From Hoover on. Hoover, Compton, Watts, man. LA, Gardena, San Bernardino, Altadena, Pasadena, all of us, take that walk down, man. Come on, hang out, man. And see what you can add to this pot, man, this gumbo, man. Let's see what y'all can add to this gumbo, y'all. Appreciate you, though, Big Salo. Thanks for coming in, bro. One love. Yeah. Raymond's Code, you said something. Oh, yeah. So just so everybody knows also, Raymond Scott did start a channel. All right. And so when you brothers and sisters, you kings and queens, gods and goddesses, man, when you get time, this is him saying, I started my channel, The Dialogue with Roscoe. All right. I'll be coming with more content. But in the meantime and in between time, people, let's go up in there, man. Let's support the brother. Let's go in there, give him a like, share, comment, and subscribe, Let's give this brother, man, the support that I'm sure he not only wants, but he, need to, get him up and running, man. So he can kick out some content, man, some informative content, some educational content that's going to improve, that's going to empower all us, man. Man, go check him out, man. All right. The dialogue with Roscoe. There it is. Yeah. Raymond also going to say, man, I believe we're genetically superior, and we are genetically superior and superior on both levels. All right. Our ancestors in ancient times believed our prayers were answered through our melanin by our dead ancestors. And again, man, so, and this is not far-fetched stuff, but again, well, first off, before I say again, this is not far-fetched. What the issue really is about is, again, we being removed from our ancestral ties, you know what I mean? We being prevented a lot of ways through distractions, everything, man, oppression, you know what I'm saying, brutality, man, everything, man. We have been distracted purposely so that we don't never get to the point where we understand what this really represents, what this is really about, you know, what it can really do. And I'm telling y'all, man, they know almost better than we do what this is really about. You know? So, hey, that comment, Roscoe, is tight. It's in our DNA, y'all. We've been saying this stuff. We've been saying this. You know? We've been saying it. All right, Project Living 1246. You say plenty much love. OG Milwaukee showing up. Hey, man, golly, Milwaukee's in the house. Hey, man, listen here, brother. This is Under the Groove podcast, man. What we're doing here tonight, this is, you know, our get down. We call it touching bases with the people. Man, we're touching bases with Milwaukee, man. We got Project Living up in this get down, man. Hey, peace and blessings to you and yours, man. Your being here is an honor, man. And also, man, it is something that we all appreciate and approve of. You're more than welcome to be here, brother. All right. Right now, we're just basically, we're discussing, you know, those things that, you know, again, man, one thing about Black people, man, we have more in common than we have been led to believe that we do. You know, we've been told, man, from all sides, east, west, north, and south, that we ain't, you know, we ain't got nothing in common. You know, my experiences are different than yours.
I don't see the call-in number in the chat.
Okay. No, I got it in hold on, don't go nowhere.
Yeah, but no, what it goes to
It's right there. It's on the it's scrolling. You don't see it?
okay.
On the, yeah.
Okay.
For those who, someone let me know if they see the call-in number on the scroll. It's scrolling down there on the banner. 424-239-9384. All right. I was just told that the call-in number is not scrolling through the banner. So let me know if you guys see it or not. But anyway, back to the brother, man. And again, like I say, man, it's an honor to see you up in here, Project Living, man. This is where we keep everything above board. All right. We tend to want to focus on the focus right here, so that whatever our get down is, it's gonna be above board. All right. Ain't no disrespect here, just love, man. Our people loving on each other and wanting more than anything to be unified. All right. We talk about those issues that, yeah, affect us though. You know, they affect us. We all have experiences. Some of us have different aspects of them, but the experiences are the same. You know, we go through the same shit, man. But good to see you in here, brother. We do this every Monday through Friday, 6:15 to 8, maybe 9 if my wife let me go that long, you know. But hey, man, power to you, man. Power is in the people, all right? All right, where we at, man? James said, we appreciate you, bub. I personally admire how you break topics and subjects down. You delve deep into where it enhances my perspective. I appreciate you always, big homie. And again, man, I think this goes for everybody in the RGC. And in case Project Living don't know what the RGC is, that is the Royal Group Congregation. This is a congregation of brothers and sisters, like I said, kings and queens, gods and goddesses. You know, we the RGC is where we chop it up at, man. Again, everything's above board. But hey, James, and this facts, man. Facts. Just listen to what you dispensing, you know what I'm saying, and to get down. Listen to Raymond, man. Listen to Rakufu, the homie, Al, even Butchie and them getting in it now. You know what I mean? Still waiting on Antonio. Every now and then he'll drop a jewel on us and shit. But our queen's coming here, man. Queen Nzinga coming here and drop some stuff on us, man. Knowledge, education. We picked that shit up, man. So we appreciate everybody in this get down. That's the way, that I'm telling you, that's the fuel. This is what powers this engine, man. Us. I mean that though. I had a conversation today about something I said last night on the last live in terms of taking money from the people, and it went like, well, everybody does it. I said, I'm got to be like everybody in that respect. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't approve of that, so, but I can hold me accountable to that. You know what I mean? I can't hold that to nobody else, I see what our people go through. I'm no different. Our dollars matter, man. What we put our money to matters. Again, man, we are spending 1.4 trillion in consumer goods. We spend this money. There's no greater consumer of products than us in this country. Man, that's the budget. That's the GDP of some of the countries that are known. America, let Trump decide it. He will spend for the Pentagon 1.5 trillion just on war shit, weapons and stuff, building the military. Do you understand how huge that is? 1.4 trillion from the people in this country consuming products. $1.4 trillion that never make it back to the community in no shape, form, or fashion. Only thing we got to show for that, our consumer mentality is the shoes we'll put on our feet, the clothes we'll wear that cost just too much money, the cars we lease, but there's no return on that shit. Not only that, but these companies who we make, these billionaire countries who we made into billionaire corporations and companies, don't come back to any of our communities with free ride scholarships, man, to anybody's college or university. They don't come and build a multi-million-dollar facility for our youth after school or a training facility for our youth in the summertime. We spend money on bullshit and have nothing to show for it. We want to talk about how can we get things going? How can we do this? That's how. Stop spending our money, man, on shit that we're making them rich. We're making them wealthier. Man, do y'all realize how much money they already have? They don't send kids to college no more, man. We done made them so rich. None of that money comes back, man, to us. None of it. You want to know how to start some shit for us? Stop spending our money first, man, with them. That's it, man. That's the start. Trust me. Stop spending our money unnecessarily on trends and gadgets and trinkets. Put that money away. Lock it away. Don't put it in their banks. Don't put it in their banks. Don't put it in their banks, man. Create you, man, a savings box or something at your house. Keep your mouth shut. and don't touch it. Weld it shut so that you can't go in it for a year. So every time you want to go buy a new pair of Jordans, Michael Jordan, man, is winning hand over foot on us, and he's against us. So you go buy a pair of Jordans, $300, $200, $300. Some cost even more. You go do a lick to get these shoes. You get caught for the lick a week later. You wore the shoes about a week. Guess what? You may be going to sit up in one of Michael Jordan's private prisons, or he invests in private prisons. You know that, right? So he wins twice. You lose. But that money, you could have socked that money away. You probably got kids, man. Pretty sure you got bills. You know, might want to put yourself through college one day. So on average, if you in a month you're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on fits, you know, trying to keep that swag, that look up that you got swag, you know, trying to stay, you know, in the motion or the groove of things, man. You know, got the right fit, you know, $200 t-shirts, $500 jeans, and all this shit. Hey, man, there's our seed money. There's the money, man. And that's coming from the ground level. Because ain't nobody else. Man, we got people got money, man. They ain't trying to help. They can't help. They can't come back and help y'all. To do that would be suicide for them. If one of their handlers, you know, their assistant didn't come and say, well, so-and-so said this is what we need you to do. We need you to go out here. There's a fundraiser happening in Beverly Hills, Melrose, and it's the such and such foundation. They're seeking donations of 100,000. If that ain't you know what they're told to do, they're not going to do it. But that's what they will do when they're told to do it. And they're also told, hey, that's a tax write-off. You can go get that money back. But the same applies. The same applies. You want to come to the community, man, say, man, you get a few of your buddies, man, NFL, NBA, you know, Major League Baseball, you know, actors, comedians, whatever. 5, 6, you get, boom, you pool some money. You say, man, look, we get this money back. Let's go make sure this corporation's company gets this money, and we oversee that they build this facility, tax write-off. You're still gonna get your money back, but they don't do this. So it's on us to get it done. Stop giving y'all money away, man. You know, don't give your money away. Don't do it. That's our out. We use the money they print, that the money they print to get us in hopes that we spend it back with them. We stop spending it. Take the money, stop spending it. Now we have a new objective. We have new goals. We make that money work for us, man. You know? And I know I'm making it sound simplistic, but trust and know, man, it has to start individually. As individuals, we have to get to the point where we know that, you know, a lot of the shit we spend money on, we do not need. I go in my backyard, I go in my patio, and I look, and I'm telling you, I can just point at shit and be like, I didn't need that. I didn't need that. You know, I'm in my office, I can look at shit, be like, damn, I didn't need that. And I'm calculating how much that was that I wasted. And we want to get some shit done, we got to do it, man. We got to do it. Can't depend on nobody else, y'all. We have the means. We're spending $1.4 trillion, man. 50 states in this union, you know. Not all 50 states house, you know, populations of blacks. You know what I mean? That's not to say there are not blacks everywhere in, you know, in the country, but I'm saying, do the math. 1.4 trillion divided by 50. Oh man, that's what it is, though. It's what it is. You know, damn, I'm really disappointed in myself right now. We're not where, you know, I'm gonna beat myself up. I want to do this damn thing. I don't know if I'm doing it right though. I shit the damn thing up there. Boom. No. Oh, can I do that? Let's see some, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna try something. Be patient, y'all. If it go out, I'm gonna come right back. Gotta go right back. Nope, that didn't work. I'm gonna get this shit down, Pat. Trust me. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna work with brother-in-law a little more. I'll figure out how it's done. But listen, y'all. Again, we started out talking about on the other channel, man, on All Things Politics today. The Congressional Black Caucus did a press conference calling themselves mad and upset about Donald Trump and what he's been doing to all the work that our people did in terms of human rights as well as civil rights in this country, how he's taking or shutting down social programs in the communities, how he's done away with DEI, affirmative action, health care, things of this nature. Donald Trump has been in office for 1 whole year. All right. So we started out talking about, okay, I just took that as an affront. I was offended that they would get up there and be all of a sudden upset. Been there a year, and then not only that, but his first term, some of you were there. And if you started any hoopla over whatever he was doing this first term, you should have knew off the rip, don't take your foot off his neck. Anyway, so you do the press conference and you're talking about all the stuff you disagree with Donald Trump. And again, I think the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is doing this, one, because he sees the disconnect between them and us. And I'm talking about the politicians. He's doing this because even there in the halls of power, blacks don't stick together, man. They don't vote as one, They don't take care of business, man. They don't tell the Republicans or the Democrats, Independents, or Green Party, or lobbyists, who lobby for the Israeli government. We're not gonna, back this bill because we got our own bills. And until, okay, you take the rest of you lobbyists, go over there and get them Republicans to help us with this, for our people, then we'll consider it or we'll do it. They don't do that. Black communities, man, are in disarray, man. Black communities are suffering. Our people in these black communities don't have jobs, man. Go downtown, man. All you see is brothers and sisters, man, homeless, mental issues, homeless, financial, man, just going through it. And these people got the audacity to be talking about what Donald Trump is doing to us. What are you doing for us? Donald Trump couldn't get away with the shit he's doing if he didn't see that there's a disconnect between y'all and us. That's how this conversation started out tonight, Again, man, it's just sad, man. We get certain people, like a lot of brothers and sisters, our kings and queens, they love talking about Jasmine Crockett. And I suggested that y'all go check out her voting record. Go check out her voting record. Go check out the bills she's tried to sponsor or she's sponsored or the bills she's backed. Go do that. We should be offended, man. Yeah, we should. P. Diddy probably had the right idea. We need to start our own political party. And to be even in that political party, you have to have a certain level of integrity. You have to have, a thing in place where you show your bank records. You show your bank records. You show everything you own before you come into this party, before you run for office, to be voted in by the people into a certain, political position in our political party. You show that so that by the time your term is up, we know what you've accumulated and we want to know how. So, this is what you call transparency. We know how you got it. You'd have to be able to account for that. Otherwise, you're corrupt. Most of them are corrupt. Donald Trump know it. That's why he ain't scared of him. He know the disconnect. You know? Then again, a lot of our politicians, black, they look at shit differently than we do. A lot of them are considered middle class. You know? There's really no political platform or group in politics that take care of the poor. It's just the middle class and the rich, man. So, you know, I was offended, man. I was offended. You know? And she's not the only one. I hear what you're saying, King Groove, and welcome to the podcast, brother. King Groove, good to see you up in here, man. This is touching bases with the people you are on Under the Groove podcast. You know how we do. We keep everything above board. You know, we focus on the focus. We don't disrespect our brothers and sisters. You know, we don't, you know, but hey, we call a spade and a duck a duck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what it is. Janet, you know, Jasmine Crockett, I think, is a phony. Just another one, you know. Little pretty face, got up in there, man. Don't do nothing for the people. Go look at her voting record and see what she's done for Israel. The billions of dollars. How she support everything that's going on over there. She supports it. You know? All the while, man, your people in Texas, you have a damn AIDS epidemic surging in Texas again. As we speak. AIDS, HIV and AIDS. What are you doing about that? It's a health crisis. You know, couple that, or you know, compound that with just the mental issues our people may have in Texas, the unemployment issues, the education issues, social issues. She's been sending billions of dollars to Israel. She's just one of many, man. That's what they all do. You know, but yeah, I was offended, man, when I saw that stuff, man, and it pissed me off, man. You know, it pissed me off. I'm mad at myself and I'm mad at them, you know. Again, man, we a lot of us are culpable or responsible, man, and should be accountable for the harm we brought to the community, you know, for the selling out we done in the community, you know, for the lack of love we expressed to the community, and the lack of love of self, you know. This is why we have these problems, you know. And I'm telling you, people, we don't expect to be empowered, don't expect to evolve, don't expect to excel if we don't have our shit together, to the point where we all go through these transitions together. See, together they can't do nothing to us or take anything from us. Individually, alone, separately, or separate, they'll run roughshod over you and dare you to complain. That's what we see, you know. It should hurt all us, man. First, from our level, the damage we do to our community, man. Knowing what we know, we still do this shit, you know. So that's how that conversation started, man. And again, man, we have to get to the point where even now we're not going to point at Donald Trump. We know that mindset, and he's not the first president to run roughshod over the black people. Facts. But we have to look past him now. And we have to look past some of our own people because we see what they're doing. They're not for us. So that means then we have to be accountable for our growth, for our excellence, man, getting our shit together. We can't hold nobody else. We got to stop saying, hey, man, they fault. You know, it ain't our fault. It's our fault. That's all I'm saying. You know, we got to start raising our kids, man, and getting their minds sharp, man, to the point where, man, we got to start replacing some of these people, man. They're only going into politics to line their pockets. They go there and do nothing. but they get them fat checks every year. They get them endorsements. You know, them lobbyists come and they say, hey, man, what project you like? So a lot of them have their own private nonprofits and businesses. Tell, oh, well, 500,000, maybe $1 million into their project to where they're making more money for them. See, here's the thing. You have the rich talking about the rich. You got the rich, you know, everybody against each other, man. This shit is crazy. But you have, and politicians are rich. Don't get it twisted. But you have the rich talking about the rich. That's the pot calling the kettle black, man. Shit that should be in place in terms of politics and people who are supposed to be representing the needs and the well-being, the welfare of the people are not in place. And this is why we have what we have. This is why we see what we see. This is why. And I bet you if you capped the salary of politicians at 120,000, you know what I mean? Including governors, senators, congressmen, assembly people, from the local, the city level, local level, state level to the federal level. You did this. I'm telling you, man, and you put certain things in place where they couldn't, we wouldn't have these problems. In fact, you might not have a lot of people want to be a politician because ain't no money in it. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be money in it for politicians when they're supposed to be there working for the good of the people. They get rich every year. They get richer and richer, richer and richer. It's the rich fighting the rich. Give a damn about us, man. But yeah, anyway. Hey, the homie, how you doing, loved one? Oh, what? Let me go back though. Excuse me, the homie. I see you right there, King Grove. Again, you say Jasmine Crockett ain't got no love for the brothers. All right, she loves Israel and white liberals and other non-blacks. Listen, man, we are witnessing a situation where blacks are being edged out or being pushed out of the frame, y'all. We don't see this shit, man. They'll bring people here and give them, literally give them money, house, automobile, job. All the while, you have people who've been here, many of which you can't call them criminals, don't have criminal records, you know, struggling their whole lives, but you won't give them money, a home, a car, and a job, and health care. But you're giving it to people that, you know, came here after the fact, after us. Hey, man, something wrong with that. And why they do it? Votes. See, because the black vote is kind of finicky, man. You know, what they say can't be trusted. There's no guarantee. You know what I mean? Black will turn on you in a minute and come to a vote. They don't forget shit, you know. So now they got to replace those ranks, those voting ranks, them people. No mistake, man, that millions of illegals got in here. And another thing, not just from Mexico, man. That's that shit they feed us. Yeah, that divide and conquer shit. And we want to hate Mexicans. Why? They didn't do this, man. They allowed this shit to happen. Other foreigners, man, from Europe. Trump just let so-called South Africans, bored people in the country, set them up well, man. Looked out for them. They here. They are here. Gave them, hey, man, looked out. All the while, you got people been here, man. And not just black. Poor whites, been here. But that's what he'll go do. He won't help white Appalachians, the super poor up in the Appalachian Mountain. He don't help them. But he'll let foreigners come into the country and set everything out for them. Come on, y'all. This shit is not by mistake. None of it. This shit is a game to them, Democrat and Republican. All of them are rich, man. All of them are mad because one of them, you got a better way, a better scam, better scheme to get more money out to people, or to ask more money and take it and divvy it out to each other. Oh, man. Yeah, we got to do our homework, man. We got to come to understand what's really going on, man. Real shit. Anyway, King Groove going to say, man, weird to see you without the cap, without the ball cap, OG, Big Bub on Verse. Facts though, cuz. Yeah, man, look. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. And you know, this just in general, this for anybody, man. We should, as we live, man, we should grow. You know what I'm saying, man? We should be able to recognize those things, man, that are a hindrance or an advantage or, you know, beneficial. You know, we should know when something's negative and when something's positive. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm saying that to say, hey, and any homie know me, I love where I come from, homie. You know, I just don't like what I see. I don't like that I was a part of some shit, man, that just didn't do us no good, man. We ain't got shit. And I'm being specific right here. I'm talking about Hoover Street. I don't care what Hoover you from. If you're in California, if you're in New York, or anywhere in between, we ain't got shit. But we talk like we got everything. We got nothing. We got nothing to show for, man, the loss of life, be that in the ground or in these prisons for the rest of their life, man. We ain't got nothing to show for none of that, man. Like these kids ain't got mamas and daddies because of the shit we participated in. How many Hoovers is going looking out for these babies, man? Or these mothers who's still grieving the loss of a child. A wife grieving the loss of her husband. The kids. How many of us? What we got to show for, man? You know? And again, now I'm gonna expand that. That don't just go for Hoover. That go for each and every set that claim to be game banging. We doing this shit for nothing. And we get nothing as a result of it. We're gonna get one or two things. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Only guarantee in game banging. You're gonna make reservations for one or two things, man. Either you're gonna go to prison, and in most cases, dudes are going for a long, long, long time. Or you headed to the graveyard. But if your career lies in game banging, I'm gonna tell you, there are only two things you're gonna get out of that. That's either prison or death. There are some of us who are fortunate to make it up out of there, off of life sentences from all over. Some of us so fortunate, so aware of how fortunate or blessed we are that we decide, hey, man, you know, that's some bullshit, man. And we telling the world the gang shit is bullshit. So I don't have to wear my cap, man, you know, for me to know where I come from. You know, I don't even have to wear it on my sleeve, man. I don't have to tell nobody nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this respectfully, loved one. I'm doing this because I recognize, man, the harm. I recognize the harm I helped bring to this table, you know, to our people. I also recognize, man, there's no benefit in it. Our loved ones, man, again, we got to hang out at strip malls, liquor stores, you know, parking lots, alleys, you know, don't own a home, you know, don't own a home. You know, you can't even hang out in apartments no more. People call the police on you. You can't hang on the sidewalk because they'll come violate your constitutional rights, tell you that you're breaking the law, you're loitering. A lot of us ain't got enough education and sense to know, man, that's a constitutional right. Stand anywhere on public street I want to. I don't have to even move. I can just stand here. But we don't know no better. What if game banging brought us? Nothing. So I don't wear my hats no more because I understand again, man, what it contributes to, how it perpetuates, you know what I'm saying, a mindset, man, that's not healthy. You know, again, I love my set. I love my homies. I love my community. I don't love the state of the community, though. I don't love what I see. You know, I don't love what I see, man. So that's what I'm saying to that, man. If a time you might see me in a hat, it might have a SF on it or a H. You know what I mean? That might not occur. You may never see me like that again, you know. But if you do, I'm where, you know, I'm with, we understand the mindset. I ain't doing it to upset nobody, banging none of that, man. I'm somewhere with individuals, and you know, we grown, man. We recognize the damage. You know, we recognize that we have nothing as a result of this. So that's why I don't, you know, that's why, you know, I made it an effort, conscious effort not to wear my H hat no more on Under the Groove podcast. You know, that's why you don't see the fingers on the wall at the studio. I had cats accusing me of game banging, but they had a point. I thought it was valid. You got a podcast with Hoover fingers and you tumble. They were right. They were absolutely right, bro. I had to step back, man, and take a look at, you know, not just the wall, but where I was thinking. I had to remove that, man, because the message ain't that. That can't be the message, homie. If anything, need to be a black fist up on that motherfucker. That's advocating unity, man. Love and unity amongst the people. That's what I'm pushing, man. That's what I'm on, you know. So, you know, and a loved one, I already know, homie. You know, we love ones. I already know to get out. You know, it's all love, homie. But man, growth is necessary, y'all. In order for us to get from A to B, you have to grow, man. In order for us to walk, we have to know how to crawl first. In order to run, you got to learn how to walk first. That's growth. That's progression. We have to start progressing, man. We have to start progressing in a direction that's empowering, not just to self, but to our people. It's uplifting, motivational, inspirational. We have to start changing the mindset, man, and the narrative. So there that go, man. But again, love and respect, man. Always. Always. And it just so it can't be no misunderstanding. Not from my viewpoint or from where I stand. I stand on that. I got homies I don't agree with at all about the shit they do. I'm not gonna disrespect them though. You know, I'm not gonna disrespect them. I'm still treat them like men. I hope that they understand that that's the treatment they're getting. I'm talking to you. I'm dealing with you like a man. You know. So there that is, loved one. The homie said, man, red for the blood, black for the melanin, and green for the veins that encloses it within, and yellow for the sun that animates, all right, its creation. Thus, red, black, and green under the yellow sun brings forth the ones, all right? And I'm going to tell you, early on, the homie, when I first was made aware of red, black, and green, craziest thing happened. And I'm telling you, this was about 1973. We lived, we ended up moving our Hoover, and we moved on 106 Butlong in Normandy. Excuse me. My oldest brother was eating watermelon. Now, I don't eat watermelon. I've never eaten watermelon. I can't tell you why, man. I don't know. It's something psychological. I don't. Anyway, my brother's eating watermelon. My uncle walks up and say, man, do you know what them colors represent? My brother, like, what colors? He said, the damn watermelon. He said, so my uncle said, what are the colors you see? He said, well, green. He said, well, red. The seeds is black and the hole is green. He said, yeah, man. He said, red is for the blood, black is for the skin, and green is for the land. The lush land in Africa. That's what he said. That's what he told my brother. And that stuck with me. But to hear it, in this, um, in this comment is different. Not green for the veins. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it now. Yeah, because I understand green, it will look, for some people it's blue, others green. I get it. So that makes sense, man. But I was always stuck with the impression that red, black, and green meant the blood, the black skin in the homeland, Akubulan, Akabalan, yeah. Not Africa. Again, man, it's just so much going on. But yeah, that is the homie. I appreciate that, man. King Groove said, man, most black politicians only support the Rainbow Boys and the illegal Latin folks. I don't trust both sides. And again, man, we've been set. I think just saying set on the back burner is an understatement. We're not even on the damn stove. You know what I mean? We're not even on the stove anymore, man. There's no setting of the black man or woman on the back burner. We're not even on the damn stove. We're not even on the appliance, man. You know. So it's the reason why we say black first here. B1 equals black first. That means, man, we have to start putting ourselves first on all things, in all things. No exception, man. No exception. Black first has become the theme, the motto, man, the mantra. And we got to say this shit, man, often, as much as possible. When we see people, instead of, hey, what's up, B1, brother? Black first. What's up, black first? We got to start doing the things that, man, we aren't doing in order to start rewiring, man, our brains, man, to bringing us into this consciousness, man, about what is really going on. Straight up, man. Everybody come before us now. They piggybacked off all of our oppression, our suppression, the discrimination, the persecution, the death, the rights we bled, sweat, and died for. The human rights, damn civil rights, which is also, a thing, all right? But everybody benefited off that, man, but us. And they'll tell us quick, oh, we've come a long way. Oh, we've made strides. No, we haven't. No, we haven't. That's another lie. False narrative, man. I ain't buying it, bro. I ain't buying none of it. Telling you straight up. King Groove going to say, man, bringing all of them Hispanics in here is trying to replace us Negroes. Not going to happen on my watch. And that's another, again, man, it's about, they're bringing in a whole new rank and file, man, because it's a voting game. So the Democrats, they bring illegals in mass, man. You right? And the Republicans, what they'll do is they'll go redistrict a whole area. Hey, man, we caught in the middle of this bullshit for votes. Again, none of them give a damn about the illegal immigrants or us. Straight up, straight up, man. James said, man, that's deep, man. I can see that some of the big homies out there can't fully let go, but who am I to judge them? I think though, it's so true, man. It's so true. I got loved ones. I swear, man, I love them. I love them, man. And I see it. I see it. I see it. Don't want to let go. And that's the thing too, man, about a lot of us, or with a lot of us, we go for what we know. We stick to what we know. A lot of us don't want to make that sacrifice, to take that chance to try something new, being somebody, you know what I mean? Other than who we've always been, don't want to shed that skin, man. Don't want a metamorphosis to occur. Change is inevitable, man, with all of us. And with anything and everything, it's gonna change. Facts, man. A lot of them don't want to change. Fighting it. James, you're going to say, man, the loss of our people only brings me to tears. Enough is enough. Love and respect is all we need. Love, man, and respect. We need to want to unify, man. That's it. That's all, man. Queen Nzinga say, man, black fist held high. James say, we don't have a pot to cook in. And Alonzo says, or a window to throw it out. That's a, hey, man, truth to power, y'all. All right. Truth to power. Yeah. Hey, Alonzo, man, peace and blessings, bro. All right. I see you, man. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. All right. And positive, bro. He said, peace to everyone in RGC and to you, bub, and yours. All right. James said, man, Compton went from almost 90% black in the 70s to now 70% Hispanic. The change is real and not change for our benefit. We've been shifted to the side. Let's focus on the focus, y'all. And I promise you, once we actually just start to really do that, embrace the focus and what it really represents, man, we're going to find change, man. It's going to happen within us first. And we're going to want to spread it. We're going to run out until, shout it at the mountaintop. That's real. That being said, man, I want to send a shout out to C1. All right, Queen, we love you. We'll probably see you don't be surprised I do something, man, just on the rip, man. Maybe tomorrow, Sunday, I don't know. But we'll see you all again. C1, you take care of yourself, sister. All right. Al, I'll talk to you soon, bro. Roscoe, same here, man. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk. RGC, keep it above board, y'all. Let's focus on the focus. The fight is real. Struggle is real. Again, it ain't nothing new to us. This is not anything new, y'all. And yet we rise. We'll continue to do so. Take care of yourselves and each other. You have, you are, and you will be under the groove. Power's in the people, y'all. One love.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transformed suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than half this hats and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive project, the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and counsel any problem when the wet just wanna build the season big. Now don't get the pause. It's just the raising up the cons. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans. Turn the neck and love the durn. Suffer like a kesha. You went from the preaching up on side is each alone, but on the shit and untrue seeing vets. Someone the very it's on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the Bonavir. You wait talking for the harbor rate to keep them from the club and saw the boats to the Sanger land is carried open slow to keep us looking on my mother. Break your channel, resi for the he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.